and no one's ever going to watch it.
People are watching it, but not enough people are watching it, unfortunately. That's the way it goes, though. Hello, my name is Steve.
I'm David.
And this is Anime Plus. We are talking about Orb on the Movements of the Earth, episode 23 this week. And oh boy, was this an impactful episode. So we continue with the confrontation between Bishop Antony, Draka, and Nowak. And Nowak has a final ace up his sleeve and had actually walked into this confrontation with a backup plan. He says his piece and then punches Antony in the neck with a knife and stabs Draka. Draka pulls the punch knife out of herself and then stabs him and flees the church just as he sets it ablaze. Okay. So David gets his wish, and we see the return of Raffle. Unfortunately, Raffle is a manifestation of Nowak's own psyche as he is dying, and he's pretty much having a crisis of faith and presenting the counter argument in the form of the young Raffle, where Nowak is pretty much going over the regret that he's had given light of the new information. And in a final moment of rectification for the guilt and the sins that he has been carrying around him since what he sees as the unnecessary self-sacrifice of Raffle, Nowak admits to himself that the pieces that have recently fallen into his lap paint a different picture of the life of his daughter than he ever envisioned. And he was carrying that goddamn hand around with him, and he puts it in one of her gloves and pretty much symbolizes for himself that could be no other person than him. The momentary flash he caught of her eye, beyond a doubt, pretty much sealed within him the thoughts that had been lingering ever since, earlier in the evening with that incident. So pretty much with his dying wish, he begs God to absolve his daughter of all of her sins as a way to maybe try to make up for the mistakes that he realizes he has made through the course of his misdirected crusade. And then we cut to Draka. As Draka's dying, she succeeds in putting the note that Yolenta wanted her to send on the carrier pigeon that she'd received from Bishop and Antony, and sends the bird off with the note. And just before she succumbs to her wound, she is finally able to look at the dawning sun, something she has been hiding from for probably 10 years at this point, due to her associating it with the untimely death of her father. Sees it the way that Schmidt had been telling her she needs to see it. And that's the end of her story. Then we cut to, we actually get a timestamp and a date stamp where it finally says Poland. I forget the year. What was it? 1467 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's uncertain to know how much time has transpired because we were not really necessarily sure exactly what time we were in. But we cut to an urban scene, and there is a line out in front of a bakery. And a woman is having a conversation with a young gentleman who is an assistant for the baker, who, according to the brief conversation, he's pretty much been adopted by this baker. She asks him where he's from, and he kind of avoids saying that, and the baker picks up on that and really causes a distraction by having this, the store open for sale. Anyways, so we build that little background of this young man, who we find out his name is Albert. The final scene is after the day is done and it's evening time, and Albert and his adoptive father, the baker, are having a conversation, and the baker is telling him that, he appreciates everything that he's done for him and how he's helped through his keen understanding of market principles, how to maximize his profits. And as a way to thank him for that, he is going to pay for him to go to university, which Albert flat out refuses the need or desire to do any of that. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. So we're in the end game, and we have a new narrative character whose name is Albert. I'm going to butcher this because I'm not good with Polish names. Brzezowski was a real human being who lived between 1445 and 1497. So what was this? This was 1468. So at this point, he is 23 years old. We will see how, in the final two episodes of this show following this, how they tie everything that has come before to this historical figure. And I cannot wait.
I know. I'm fucking. I'm lit right now.
This whole time we've been talking about Copernicus for obvious reasons, but the fact that it actually is tying itself into verifiable history as opposed to just historical, narrative fiction is
exciting.
Yeah. I mean, we've been anticipating it on the side, maybe, just kind of like wish casting. But the fact that it's actually going to happen just propels the quality of this narration even further. Oh, the show is so good.
It is so good.
And there are going to be so many people that are never going to watch it because it is a dry historical story. And that's really sad.
It is sad. I really, really am sad to know that there's not going to be a huge following for this show.
Yeah, we're not going to see legions of, young anime fans 20 years from now espousing the virtues of this story in the same way that they're going to do with Naruto or One Piece or Dragon Ball.
We're not going to see it. We're not going to see Nox.
No, we're not going to see people cosplaying as characters in this show. Although I would love to see somebody cosplay as Schmidt. That would be fantastic.
Or even just Frey with his iced tips. Homie, I think you're a couple centuries too early.
Yeah, right.
Justin Timberlake called. He wants his hairstyle back.
True indeed.
Oh, again.
Did you enjoy the return of Raffle?
I started laughing.
Now we finally understand where the scene from the opening sequence comes from of him in the fiery room.
Yeah, I chuckled. I was like, I have been partially vindicated.
Okay, so in the previous episode, I was surely convinced that Nowak had lost all of his credibility and intelligence and cunning. But he vastly proved me wrong with his machinations that he had set in motion before he even showed up at the church. You had even poked fun at him about when he was asking the guards at the gate where the nearest place is for him to get a strong drink, not understanding that he was collecting some alcohol to use as an accelerant for this like backup plan of just fucking everything up and setting the church on fire after murdering people. Man,
you sly bastard.
Oh, so I take it back. I am sorry. I apologize to the memory of Nowak for doubting his intellect and resolve.
Unpopular take. I feel really guilty for him. I feel bad.
Yeah, his life was a lie. His entire life that we had seen was a lie. He was being used by someone who was carrying out petty revenge. It snowballed into insanity.
And I feel so bad for him just because he lost his family.
Oh yeah.
And then he goes.
It was essentially all his doing.
Right.
He realizes that in the end, I have brought all of this destruction to myself.
Well, what really, really moved me was his I'm the villain in this story.
Yes.
And I was like, buddy.
He's not wrong.
No. I mean, I know he's not wrong. But
yeah, but he realized, he recognizes it too.
You gotta feel bad for the man. He's being manipulated.
The strength of his character were at the end, when he understood everything that he had done. He's unwilling to beg God for forgiveness for himself, but he's begging God for forgiveness for his daughter. He had resolved himself to accept the things that he had done and the punishment that he believes is waiting for him.
He used his, air quotes, one chance to beg forgiveness for someone else other than himself. That kind of shows his convictions to his faith.
Oh, yeah.
That he's kind of resolved himself to his own punishment for his wrongdoings.
And is willing to give up any chance of salvation to offer salvation to someone else.
Someone that he cares about.
Oh, yeah. Well, the only person he cares about, let's be honest.
He forgoes his own salvation so that he hopes that his daughter can achieve salvation. And that, I was just like, woof. Absolutely woof.
Orb is going to be one of those hidden gems that a lot of people aren't even going to know about, because a lot of people aren't really going to talk about, because it's not within the standard milieu of what popular anime is.
Do you think he realized that was Yolenta?
I think he did, yeah, honestly.
Okay.
I think because he wasn't shocked from the explosion. He was shocked by what flashed through his brain when they made that split second of eye contact, because he just stood there.
He did.
He was struggling so much to process what his brain had thought.
Also, his thoughts about Raffle too. I was like, I knew that. I saw that on his face.
His pity for Raffle and how Raffle's life ended. We pretty much had been speculating on that anyways from the very beginning. That I don't think that was really hidden emotion or thought process with him, because he was trying so hard during the interrogation process to get Raffle to save himself. And I think far more than just him being this being of piousness, because he didn't show that regard for the others he was interrogating at all.
For fucking Bedeni and
or
Otzi.
Even that that one gentleman in his house where his son walked in.
Yeah, or the woman.
Yeah, the woman accused of witchcraft. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Nowak is just a complex character.
Yeah, I mean they all are, but yeah, Nowak being the only consistent throughout the story, who now is no longer part of the story.
We have 0 original characters now.
No, we're on to a completely fresh turn. The only thing that can carry itself on now are the memories and the information.
We have lost every single character.
All of them.
That had any connection to any part of this
to
anime
that
now.
Goddamn stone box.
Yeah, I like how he was like, because of your fucking stone box.
Yeah, and it wasn't even Raffle's. But of course, he doesn't know this, so he can't have his version of Raffle refute that. Actually, I can't even remember. I don't even think it was... I
don't think it was Hubert's either.
I don't think it was Hubert's either. I think it was from somebody else. This has been a hell of a story, and I cannot
It's been a
wait.
ride.
I cannot... I'm very happy that we're going to see its resolution soon. Like, I don't want this to keep going, even though it's so good. Like, this needs to resolve. I am in anticipation of how the resolution will manifest.
Also just tired of getting attached to characters and then them dying. When he stabbed Draka, I was just like, no!
Why tried to stab me?
I know. The fact.
And then she's like, what was my life even for? All of this is lost now. It's like, oh, yeah.
What you get for being money greedy. I'm just kidding.